Hi there. Today I'm going to show you how to make this little Valentine candy box. I created this using the greeting card kit set, decorated it, and on the inside I used a teeny tiny wishes happy Valentine's Day message with a couple of punches just to put a little greeting on the inside. So let's get started. I'm going to begin by showing you this little template that I made. This is kind of how you go about cutting this. You're going to use the real red. This is the base of the card. You're going to use a piece that is 4 7/8 by 4 7/8 inch squared, and you're going to score it at 15/16 on all four sides. And you can see the score lines here on the dotted line. And then the other piece, this kind of wraps around the whole box, is 8 1/2 by 3 1/4 inches. And it's scored at 1/2 inch, 3 1/2 inches, 4 1/2 inches, and 7 1/2 inches. And I have already done that on my real red cardstock for both of these pieces. I'm going to set this aside. I have the written instructions and then the pictures of the template that I can send to you. So if you're interested, just email me and I'll send those to you. I'm going to start off by, I have already scored at all of the marks that I just told you, and then I'm going to use my bone folder to get nice crisp creases to fold along all of these score lines. Okay. On this piece, I have scored at the 15/16 inch mark on all four sides. And then, I'm going to show you on this template. On each corner, we're going to take a ruler and just go from corner to corner and score along each of those diagonal lines on each corner. So I would do that using my stylus and a ruler, just like that, and go around and do all four sides. I have already done that on this piece here, and I've got my wrap all ready to go. On the bottom of this is the box part of it. I'm going to call this the wrap. On the bottom of the wrap, you're going to put sticky strip. And on this diagram, I've got sticky strip denoted with the red lines. So go ahead and just follow that template. So I have already done that here, and then you put it on each of these corners as well. Then you flip it over, and there's sticky strip on these corners so that when you go to fold the box together, it will adhere and assemble nicely. I have already done that on this one. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the backing from the sticky strip that is just on the corners. Okay, on both sides. And I will put this box together before I take the two long strips on the back side off. You don't want to take those off just yet because the sticky strip sticks to everything. And if you take these long strips off first, it's going to be sticking to every single thing. And I kind of want to set this down and fold these corners nice and tight, and just press those together. I'm just doing one side at a time. Get nice sharp corners. Okay, so there's the box part of it. Now you're going to take the top part, which is kind of the wrap. It just wraps around this whole little box. This thing all fits together just like that. The 1/2 inch section of the scored part is going to be your little top flap that fits into the brad down here. So keep that up top, and then this 1 inch section will be the part that wraps around the box. So you're going to want to sort of fit this in between these two score lines. Kind of position it before you go ahead and remove that sticky strip so you have an idea where you're going with it. So you're going to fit it in between. It wants to fit right in between those two score lines. And then you're going to have about an eighth of an inch on either side showing around that box. And so you want to center that so that you don't get it off kilter. So then once you kind of know where you're going with that, you can peel off the two long strips of backing on this sticky strip. And then you will center that where you want it, and be sure not to stick it until you're ready to have it exactly where you want it. Okay, so I've got it in between the two score lines here, and then I've got about an eighth of an inch on either side so it's centered. And once you've got it where you want it, you can go ahead and stick it, and then go ahead and adhere these two edges together. Okay, so there's your little box, and it is ready to go. Ready for the brad. And I have my paper piercing tool. This is actually just a little piece of foam from my clear block caddy that I took out and I used to do the paper piercing. What I'm going to do first is close this up. You're going to want to put the hole right in the bottom section, just below where that flap hits. You're not going through the flap. That flap is going to tuck right behind the brad. So you could just take a marker and mark that center point where you want the hole to go. And then, so that you don't poke your fingers, just kind of push that foam back behind there, and you can poke your paper piercer in to create the hole. And then you're going to take your little brad. These are the antique brads that are so pretty. Poke that through. And then you can open up the tabs on the back. You can actually use your bone folder to open those up so that that's ready to go. And then the way this closes is this little flap just tucks right underneath that brad to close it. Okay, so your box is assembled, and now to decorate it, actually I use the 2 3/8 inch circle scallop punch with the Pretty in Pink cardstock. So that's the first layer. And then I used the perfect size white circle that I wanted to go behind this little girl. Is a 2-inch circle, and I used the Circles 2 die with the Big Shot and just cut out that 2-inch circle. So I've already done that. Then I'm going to take my Pink Pirouette ink pad and a sponge. This will give it just a little bit of soft color and shading all the way around this circle. And then I'm going to just adhere that with some snail adhesive right onto the center of that scallop. So there's that piece. I've also got Pretty in Pink and the this is Patterns Designer Series paper in the Real Red. And I'm just layering this, leaving a really slight edge of the Pretty in Pink showing. Using snail to adhere this to the top of the box. So there's that. Okay. Next I'm using the Greeting Card Kids Valentine's Girl. Very cute. I'm going to use Stays On ink to ink her up. I'm going to do her on watercolor paper because it's much easier to blend, and I'm using the blender pen to color in the image, and to get a little bit of shading. It's very easy to do on watercolor paper. So what I've done is I've taken my markers. I've got Real Red, Pretty in Pink, Blush Blossom, and more mustard that I'm using to color her in with a blender pen. And what I've done is I've just taken some of the ink with my paintbrush tip. I've just put it down this plastic tray that I have. And then I'm going to use my blender pen to just pick up some of that color and color her in. I love this watercolor paper for this because it is it's really easy to shade with it. I even find that if I go outside the lines a little bit, I can pick up that excess color. If I clean off my blender pen, I can actually pick up the excess color and remove that. So, but I like the shading that you get, that you can create some dimension. So I've already colored her and cut her out so that we can save some time. You don't have to watch me do all of that. So I've got my little girl, and I'm going to take a dimensional, just a dimensional, pop it on the back here. I'm going to pop her up on the top of this, on the top, and just center her in the circle. So she's raised up, and then I just took a couple of dimensionals on the back of my scallop circle. And I'll adhere her to the front of the box and just center her on the front. So there's that. On the inside, I've done the Teeny Tiny Wishes set, Happy Valentine's Day message, and I used the word window punch with the modern label punch, just in Pretty in Pink. So I'll show you how I did that. I took a piece of white cardstock, and since I had the StazOn out, I'm just going to use that again. Ink that up and stamp my little message. Happy Valentine's Day. I used the word window punch, just centered that in there. Punch that out. And then I used the modern label punch with Pretty in Pink cardstock. And I'm just going to adhere that with some snail. Center that on the modern label punch. And then we're just going to adhere that with adhesive to the inside of the box. So there you have it. So there's your finished little box. It's ready to fill with something yummy, or even some jewelry, just any kind of little Valentine gift that you'd like to enclose. If you'd like written directions for assembling the box along with pictures of the templates that I showed earlier, just email me and I'll be happy to send them to you. Have a happy Valentine's Day, and thanks for watching.